And now I really like to welcome our next speaker here, who is really the expert on this topic actually today. And I'd like to lead over to David Drobesch. And David, you as being always at the customer, I'm so pleased to see you here for a change. A warm welcome to you. And what I had in mind to ask you actually, so what is the difference now between document management and content management? Can you explain quickly to us?
I think you said it already in
the end. Did I?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
I'm just quoting you. There is no content or no document without process, and there is no process without document. That's the core statement. Content management is not like document management, just storing documents and perhaps retrieving them, but it's the context and within the process to show where the document is located and used within which process. And this linking between the process makes the content and also additional contents, not only documents. Mm-hmm. We are talking about videos. You had the video chat.
Right.
And all these topics linked together makes the difference between document management and content management, the linking to the process.
Perfect. So, I mean, there are certain trends, no? We had ECM, enterprise content management, and now we are talking about content services. How does this fit together, or what is the difference here?
The biggest trends we are seeing now, and this is from the request from the customer, this is not what we are thinking, is really the demand for collaboration.
Right.
It's not having only anymore the content and storing it and hopefully never retrieving it anymore. It's really getting into working together between departments on the shared content. And this is really what content services are for.
Sounds great. I think this leads very well into your topic. Well, thank you and have a great session.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. A very warm welcome also from my side. I'm pleased to present now more into content services, not document storage, but collaborative content services, and on top of it, how to secure them with technologies like blockchain. A very quick intro. What is actually the need for a content services platform? What are typical use cases? We have here a few examples. For example, human resources. It's not only that a person sends a CV or a job application. This is not very dense. It's a whole process from applying to a job until, for example, retiring. And we need to collect information, and it's not only talking about job applications, it's about payroll management, it's about retiring in the end, and it's about skills management. As a HR department, I need to talk about what are my people able to do. CRM, another topic. We have received a request and we have implemented a very, very nice project with a customer in the US where the workers in the insurance company, the healthcare insurance company, they were carrying around folders thick like that, full of paper. And that was their content. It was documents inside, all kinds of insurance documents, folded together, collected together, and moving them between the departments. Now just imagine what happens nowadays in situations like this. We are more or less in a lockdown, that's why we have our virtual open house, which is nice, but we need to be prepared for that. Moving around physical, paper-printed documents between departments might not be possible anymore. So this is really the need to implement these processes electronically, store the documents, but also have the processual context. And then the next topic is ERP, for example. As an example, procurement, purchase to pay. How does the whole process of buying something works? Another sample of COVID, let's not talk only about the negative topics, but it's always good to learn out of such situations. For example, ordering masks. Some companies were ordering masks from China, they were buying them, they flew them to Europe, and they had to find out they were broken, they were not correct, they were not right, they did not receive what they had ordered. So also this should be placed within processes. From the procurement, from ordering something, with the documents, with the shipment orders, with the invoices, and finally with a sign-off to get the payment authorized if the goods were delivered and they were delivered correctly as ordered. Collaboration, Anne-Marie mentioned already, is a very big topic and makes up the content services platform. We don't only store the content, we are working on it. We share it, create it. We can add up manually content, not only the automatically created documents, but add it, we can review it, we can govern, we can check what is going on within our processes, retrieving it, searching it, not only just logging onto an archive, but also do integration, expose it in a certain way to end customers, and deliver in the end, sending it out, for example, via email. We have collected a few use cases of Papyrus Web Archive. It's, first of all, storing documents in any meaning, not only documents, but content. Inbound, Papyrus capture, and outbound, the good old batch processing, letter writing, on-demand production, whatever we have. And we are not limited to what we consider as a document, printed or PDF. It also includes emails, or for example, a customer of us in Switzerland, they receive, in the medical business, they receive DVDs, physical DVDs with X-ray images. They scan them, they extract it, they save it as a DVD image, these ISO images, and they can store it within their content management platform. But then the cooperation comes in. Storing content is not enough. We need to work with it, and so the content is linked always into cases. If I receive as an insurance company X-ray DVDs, usually I need to link it to a case, because I don't get it just because the doctor just sends it to the insurance company. No, he wants to get some money, obviously, from the insurance company. So the content is actually linked to the case and will be used for collaboration within a business. Retrieve. Retrieving the documents is the search and the integration within other systems. I mentioned already before, it can be searching. We will later see there is also full text search and such topics available, indexed search, but integrating with other systems, with other archiving systems, for example, but also sending out or integrating with other existing portal solutions to expose it to the end customer. And then finally, in the end, that's the rather new thing, it's the notarization, it's the securing of the whole content and the process. Securing content we have been doing for ages, topic PDFA, for example. But now we have the chance that the whole process can be notarized, and if there is a change, it is traceable from, even by the end customer. When I receive a mail, I get a link, I can verify was the process in somehow altered, or is it still correct. The Papyrus content services, I mentioned it already, is the index search and full text search in both possibilities. Both have their advantages and their use cases. Both are not possible for everything, so we need to make the best out of both worlds. We can do index search, like giving certain index information to a document, customer numbers, for example. We can do full text search, but another topic is that this all happens automatically and transparent and is being provided to the archive. And what we still also have is another very nice thing is the content and process, they are stored together. I always instantly see the document, which cases is it contained in, and that also leads me to another topic, taxonomies. Taxonomies is what we call nowadays in the social media context is a hashtag. It's a hashtag digital bank. It can be any document, it can be tagged with tagged information, and then last but not least, we have the retrieval of the content or by the process. I want to search for any kind of entity. I might search for a certain document, whatever content. Is it just a phone call or a message from a customer? or I can just look up a certain case, who is involved. There might be multiple persons involved, a doctor in the insurance business, the actual patients, some kind of legal entity, a police statement, whatsoever. Or I can look up by a person who was the customer himself, or even by a bigger context, by a project. And all this content is included within the Papyrus Web Archive. It's all linked together. It's all being made accessible centrally. As we can see, we have it available within the Web Archive, but the Web Archive is not just a black box, which is just some mysterious thing. It has a major advantage. It's scalability and multi-platform capability. So we can scale with Papyrus Web Archive both vertically and horizontally. We will later talk a very little bit about it, and Michael will talk about it in particular. We can even distribute across locations. GDPR is a very big topic for that, not storing content in the US, for example, when I'm doing business with European customers. From this web archive, I have stored all kinds of content, the processes, and so on. I can access it from any device, basically. It can be the mobile, it can be a web front end, it can be a third-party application. We have all our service-oriented architecture to integrate with whatever application we need to. A little video showing how this all works. We have here an example of a case. Within this case, there's different content stored, and the content can be stored in many ways, as we saw before. It can be stored automatically. Incoming, outgoing communication, and here we just saw sending an email. This email is being sent, and it's being detected automatically and linked to the case. Now comes some manual work inside, and this is now this collaboration part, where the email is actually moved to a folder. This is something particular what we could even automate. This could be machine learning, could be used for that from the built-in user-trained environment to do machine learning to move a document which is sent by email under certain circumstances to the respective folder. But not only sending email, we also have the possibility to simply upload data from the file system, whatever extra information. For example, if a clerk needs to refine a case, which means there is some information which is not contained in the case yet, but this was somehow received in a different way, or it's an additional information which needs to be provided to the customer, can be uploaded to the case. It's all linked together. It's all available to the system, not only to the system, but to all other people involved who have access and who are allowed to have access to this case and the related content. And here we can see it all directly within the system, the preview, showing this building progress of this actual building where we are doing this presentation now. And this is really giving us the whole overview of a case. Also upload and so on is possible, but also integrating with third-party archives. For example, we will see that later on, we offer integration with all major archive vendors. We have the CMIS interface to get the data from there. And also here we see content from within Papyrus. We can use letter templates to do letter writing directly out of the case. So this is a living archive. It's not only just storing data within a document management platform, but it's working with the data, sharing it, sending it out to the customers. The content services platform really consists of multiple concepts. It's capture and extract, getting the information out of the inbound documents, then create and publish content. From letter writing to big batch production, it's all integrated. And then, on top of it, make it integrated and available to a workflow, and possibly have this workflow automated. It's not always one-step clicking, and customers keep asking us, well, we have so many processes, and then I need to upload some file, and it's always just manual work, even though there is no interaction. Yes, then let's automate it, which is really a great benefit. Let the people do the real work and not just clicking for the next step, which is just an intermediate solution. We have a very nice example from a customer in Germany. It's a financial institution, and we had started actually a document project there. And at a certain point, they were asking us, well, you know, we have so many different forms. They are all in Adobe InDesign, and we have all stored them, and there is so many of them. Is there any chance we can bring some order into that? We had a look at it, and we thought of it. And then we decided, well, this is actually a nice application. We can implement all these terms and conditions. This is hundreds of forms and also application forms, how to open an account. This is like not a single page where you fill in 3 fields. No, this is lots of financial background and detailed questions. And as a first step, we implemented this kind of content service to store this InDesign and the PDF versions of those documents in a versioned way. So here we have it revision-proof, we have it stored in a versioned, but we also have the capability to do a controlled output, to do a controlled rollout, because it has to be rolled out to the customer portals, it has to be rolled out to the file system, and it has to be, for example, also be approved by the internal legal department. What we're doing as a next step now, we make this all interactive. We are switching over those Adobe InDesign forms to Papyrus Business Designer maintained documents to provide them also, for example, for letter writing. Store, search, and retrieve. Storing something is easy, finding it is often a bit more complicated. Even though we have lots of possibilities, we have the full integration with all kinds of web services, with REST, with SOAP, message queue adapters, anything what we have and what Michael will mention in his presentation. We use the open standard CMIS for interacting with other third-party archives. Drag and drop, you have seen just before in the video. We have the built-in email integration, so we can send emails directly from the user interface. We have the full integration of print and e-delivery. There will be a very nice sample. So it's not only storing documents, but really automatically and rule-based, data-driven output to be sent out to the customer. And it's available through desktop, mobile, and web. And the whole implementation and the whole solution is GDPR ready by design. We have these access control systems for ages already implemented within our system. So we offer data protection, we offer privacy, and we offer the location management, what I mentioned already before, that we can have certain records only within a location inside the European Union to comply with GDPR standards. This integration, I mentioned, access from anywhere. Another customer project which is a very long-term customer of our company already, it's the Cyprus Telecom. They had a long-term archive already long before, and some years ago they decided to move into a newer platform. So we offered them Papyrus Web Archive in a dual use. It's not only used as a document pool, so as a short-term archive, but it's used as a long-term archive, storing the documents for 12 years. And by implementing that with the Papyrus Archive solution, they got as a bonus the capability to do the e-delivery. Some years ago, they were printing everything. Nowadays, they are sending out already to 25% of their customers, they are sending out the documents electronically, which saves them a lot of money and the customer a lot of hassle. Me, for example, I'm on the road most of the time. Right now, unfortunately not. But if I receive documents by printed mail, by real mail in Vienna, often I pick it up weeks afterwards. If I receive it by email, I have it instantly with me wherever I am. So this is really important for them to make the documents accessible through many channels, print and e-delivery, sending it out with a protected email link, or logging into the portal, which is shown there on the slide, to retrieve the invoice. This portal sends a SOAP request to Papyrus and gets returned exactly the invoice of this month they wanted to have. And it's also being exposed to points of sales. They have some small Sita shops all around the country where people can go and retrieve their invoices, and they also have access to the archive with LDAP authentication because there's a couple of hundred employees working on that. And as a very nice incentive for the end customers, they are really encouraging to move into this electronic invoicing because the company saves a lot of money, of course. But on the other hand, people are being encouraged by every customer who is moving into electronic invoicing can win a tablet every month. Yeah, searching and integration. We have just started with this topic. I would like to show a quick sample. We have on the left side the desktop version, on the right-hand side we see the mobile. Searching for full text. For example, here we search for a certain text and it's being shown instantly within a PDF. So this is just a PDF. Full text search is available. The same also works on the mobile, typing in the search string, which is being looked for, and the system provides me with the required documents. But at the bottom, not only the document or the content is shown, but at the bottom also the case is being exposed to the customer or to the clerk. So here we can see in which context the content is being stored, what case it is related to, and also visible, of course, on the mobile, showing instantly which context has the document, and I can instantly move into the case where I see what is the progress, what has happened, why was this document created, how is it linked to the whole business process, and from this case I can also look up what is the other content being stored there, what is related to it. So not only this PDF document, but perhaps an image, perhaps the initial request, perhaps the Facebook chat the customer was starting the content with. Integration also means third-party systems. So we are having the open CMIS, Content Management Interoperability Services, and we can act, Papyrus can act both as a client and a server. In case of SharePoint integration, we act as a server. For other third-party archiving vendors, we act as a client to retrieve or store information, data from these archiving systems. Now comes the really new and important part, is the data security. The revision proof, we can provide revision proof to all kind of content. Not only talking about PDF in all different PDF-A standards, but to anything, to Office documents, to email, web documents, a chat, and we can notarize everything, the content and the process. We can share the content between the different business departments, we can share it with customers, but we always maintain the access control. It's the collaboration in every meeting with control, who is allowed to see what content. And of course, this is nowadays anyway a basic requirement, secure transport, encryption of the content, and the digital signatures, so we can sign the content. This is the next step. We have here, for example, a sample process where we are just creating a document and sending it out via email. And we have the possibility here to either notarize it within Papyrus with our built-in solution, just a blockchain notarization, or we can ship it to an external signing company, which costs, of course, some money, but in case of high volume or high value documents, this is also worth it. So this is really notarized externally and it is accepted as a legal authority. And by this, it can be signed internally or externally, and either the document, the signing process, or the whole case can be notarized in both ways. What is the difference now between the built-in Papyrus blockchain or an external digital signature? Papyrus blockchain it guarantees the originality of content a message, or a process, but it has a different legal value. We can do it as it is integrated. We can do it for basically everything, but it does not use a trusted legal authority. If I want to use a trusted legal authority, I can use the Papyrus sign solution, which is recognized as a legal authority. So I have proof in most countries of the world that this is like when I go to, for example, to get my notarized copy of my passport. If I need to apply for a visa, I need to go to get it, to have it notarized, to have a stamp on it. This is original. And this is exactly what is happening here, just electronically. The blockchain audit, we can send out communication to the customer, which can then be proved by the customer. Is it untampered? Was there any change? Or is it correct? In this case, the check was failed, so something was wrong. The customer should have a look at it. Finally, there is also auditing and reporting within the whole system. So we have the full control of what happens within the system. What was checked in? What was searched for? Who did it? I don't want to have my neighbor see my financial data if I'm working with him as a colleague. Where is the physical location of records? I have mentioned it already, GDPR topic mainly. And then the view and access tracking, especially for sensitive data. So we have the full proof what is happening, and this can be reported both in interactive dashboards or create a document to be printed out and checked as a kind of auditing report from the system. That's it, basically. Well, thank you very much.
That's not it yet.
No.
No. Actually, I received 2 questions for you from the audience, if that's okay.
Great. Thank you.
One is about machine learning.
Yes.
I mean, does this play a role?
Yes,
here?
absolutely.
One person asks.
Absolutely. The machine learning is, when it comes to collaboration, collaboration can be also learned. I mentioned before, always the same time clicking the same button for a clerk. On the one hand, it frustrates the clerk. On the other hand, it wastes time. So this is an exact example, and we have it built in, that we can do machine learning, as you also showed in your presentation, that you can do just the on-the-fly recognition of, for example, document recognition. We can teach the machine what should be the next best action to be happen in certain cases.
Perfect. Well, and the last question here that I have written down is, how does Papyrus innovate? And I think this is meant for the collaborative side of things.
Yes, I agree. I think we have been doing the web archive, the archiving part, the document management part. You know it better how long we have been doing that for decades already.
Right.
But what is really the main innovation is this linking together, bringing together the ECM, from a content management perspective, bringing together the business process control, and then having all the controls over it using the Papyrus, the security we provide, and what we have mentioned already before, the user-trained environment, the machine learning part, to make this automation possible.
Perfect. Well, David, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was very, very interesting.